Chapter 17. Robin Hood's Wedding. All this happened the day after the burning of Gamwell Hall. Robin was still worried about the fate of Maid Marian. He loved the girl dearly and had thought many times of asking her to marry him, but he knew that the life he was leading was no life for a young lady of gentle upbringing. He felt it would have been unfair to ask Maid Marian to share his forest adventures. If Robin had only known Marian's true feelings, he would have acted differently. She was in love with Robin, just as he was with her, and would have followed him to the ends of the earth if he had asked her, but she believed that he preferred to live a wild life with his men in the forest. When Sir Guy of Gisborne attacked Gamwell Hall, Maid Marian and Will Gamwell, Robin's boyhood friend, had both been away visiting relatives. When they returned to find the hall burned down and Squire Gamwell killed, they realised that now they were without a home at all. What could they do? "I shall avenge my father's death," said Will grimly. "How can you?" asked Maid Marian, and there was little hope in her voice. "I shall join Robin in the forest," he declared. "Oh, Will, that is indeed the right thing to do," said Maid Marian eagerly. Her eyes brightened at the thought. She was silent for a moment. Then, at length, she looked up at her cousin. "Will?" "Yes, Marian?" "Take me with you into the forest." "What?" "I want to go with you. I want to join Robin Hood too." "That is impossible. What could a girl do in the greenwood? It's a hard life, you know." "It is no harder than living without a home." Will did not reply. Maid Marian had lost her parents, her home, everything. Will knew that she loved Robin. Perhaps, after all, it would be the best thing of all, as long as Robin thought so too. "What will Robin say?" he asked the girl. "We will surprise him," she replied, smiling. They said no more. They packed their few belongings and entered the forest that afternoon. It was early evening when they came into Robin Hood's camp. "We have visitors, master," called Much the miller's son as he saw the two figures approaching. Robin came into the glade. "Marian!" The outlaw's face broke into a happy smile as he ran to meet the girl he had long wanted to see again. He was so eager to hear all that they had done since he last saw them that it was some time before Will and Marian could tell him of their decision to join the merry men. Robin's face became serious when finally they were able to tell him their news, but only for a moment. His secret hope that Marian would one day join him was now realised. "Let me show you how we live," he invited them proudly. He took Maid Marian and Will round the camp, pointing out to them various members of the band and showing them how the food was prepared, where they ate, and how the merry men spent their time. Marian said that she, like Robin, could be happy in the forest. She soon settled down to life in the greenwood and quickly endeared herself to the outlaw company. Robin Hood and she were specially happy together, and spent many pleasant hours in close company in the forest. What was more, the lost fortunes of Gamwell Hall had altered Robin's view towards marriage. Marian wanted Robin as a husband, and the two decided that they should marry and go on living in the forest together. The wedding was fixed for an evening in spring. Robin and Marion stood under the fresh green leaves of a tall oak tree. Above them the green-leaved branches hung gracefully down like the tracery roof of a cathedral. Birds sang in the boughs. Friar Tuck stood in front of the couple, and around them were grouped, in silence, the merry men. Marion had made a wedding dress for herself, and she looked beautiful as she stood quietly on the green and brown carpet of the forest by the side of her lover. Robin's men had smartened up their clothes of Lincoln green for this great occasion. Little John and Will Scarlet were in the forefront of the company. When the marriage ceremony was over, the merry men sang a hymn lustily, their voices ringing bravely through the greenwood. Robin kissed his bride. Marion was now his wife. His greatest ambition had been achieved. Twang! An arrow whizzed through the air and embedded itself in the tree behind Robin and Marion. The peaceful scene was shattered. Who had shot the arrow? "Whoever winged that arrow shall die," cried Robin. Quickly he entrusted Marion to the safety of a group of his men. "Guard her with your lives," he commanded. He ran through the greenwood. Some distance away he saw a strong band of the sheriff's men. They had crept up silently, guided by the outlaws' voices raised in song. Robin could see them easily now through the trees. Their bright-coloured coats made a sharp contrast against the forest shades. It was a desperate situation for Robin Hood and his followers. Only 12 of his men were armed. They could not easily be seen amongst the trees because of their suits of Lincoln green, but that was the only advantage they had, now that the sheriff's men had sprung a surprise. Robin decided at once on a bold plan. The sheriff, unwisely, had arranged his men in one long line. This Robin noticed, and he was going to try and turn it to advantage. "I want the 12 archers to line up, not too close to one another," he said. 3 unarmed men will stand behind each archer." The men took up their positions quickly and silently. "The archers shall shoot steadily. Each arrow must find a mark. As soon as any archer is tired, his place shall at once be taken by one of the waiting men." The men understood his plan, and at his order let their arrows fly. Thus Robin kept up a continuous barrage of arrows, and the sheriff, not being able to see the men clearly, thought a huge force of Robin's men was hidden there. All the outlaws were trained marksmen, and not an arrow was wasted. The sheriff watched his soldiers falling one by one. There was nothing for it but to retire. When an arrow pierced his hat, he waited no longer. He turned his horse round and galloped away. This was a signal to his men, who stopped shooting and fled. "Shall we follow them, master?" cried Little John. "No," replied Robin with a smile. "Have you forgotten, Little John, that this is my wedding day?" End of chapter 17.